Greetings to everyone. This is Akashdeep Paul from Department of Botany, BHAIRAB GANGULY COLLEGE. And here we are here to understand about fertilizer, so it's all about fertilizer. Now, so what is fertilizer? It is a material of natural or synthetic, that is artificial origin, that improves growth and productivity of plant. So here we can see natural and artificial fertilizer respectively in the pictures given below. So here are some facts. China, being world's largest producer and consumer, produces almost 1/3 of world's fertilizer. Few brands with highest production in India are Chambal Fertilizer and Chemical Limited and Coromandel International Limited Extra. There are several other factories. In India, state with highest per hectare consumption of fertilizer is Punjab. Next comes Haryana and West Bengal. So, why do we use fertilizer? We humans are using fertilizer to grow crops for almost 8,000 years now. Micro and macro nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, etc. are all naturally present. But as we commercially grow crops, soil loses most of it, leading to deficiencies which are quite fatal or affects very badly to the plants. The fertilizer used depends on several factors like types of plant or quality of soil. Now, the application too depends on factors like weather, pH, and time of application. For example, plants like potato grows well in acidic soil with 4.5 to 6.5 pH, whereas beans require a bit alkaline soil with 6 to 7.5 pH. Now, we can classify artificial fertilizer in terms of synthetic origin in three types. Straight fertilizers are the ones that supply one primary plant nutrient, like urea, that supplies nitrogen, and potassium chloride, that supplies potassium. Complex fertilizers supply two or maybe three primary plant nutrients, like nitrophosphate, which supplies nitrogen and phosphate. Mixed fertilizers are just mixture of several straight fertilizers. Now, based on its chemical composition, we get four types of artificial fertilizer. As the name denotes, nitrogenous, phosphatic, and potassic fertilizer supplies nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium respectively. Complex fertilizer are the one which includes all three of them in its composition. Now, somehow we have to recognize the amount of or minimum amount of NPK present in a fertilizer. This is called fertilizer grading or fertilizer grade. For example, if a bag of fertilizer states 17:17:17, it means it has 17 kg of nitrogen, 17 kg of phosphorus, and 17 kg of potassium in a 100 kg bag of it. Now, let's talk about nitrogenous fertilizers. As we all know, nitrogen plays a very important role in plant body, as it is a component of amino acids and its presence in chlorophyll molecule. So the absorption rate is also high. Almost 80% of the fertilizer used are nitrogenous fertilizers. So there are four common categories of nitrogenous fertilizers. Ammonical supplies in form of ammonia. Nitrate supplies nitrogen in form of nitrate ions. Ammonical and nitrate which supplies both ammonia and nitrate. Among amide, urea is commonly used as it is versatile, cheap, and not lost easily in drainage or leaching. Here's a fact. About 80% of our dietary nitrogen comes from fertilizer until we consume certified organic food. Phosphatic fertilizers. As phosphate is quite essential as it plays a vital role in ATP formation, general health of plant, and to increase resistance. Superphosphate and triple superphosphate supply 16 and 46% of P2O5 or phosphorus pentoxide to soil. They are applied closer to the roots and used before sowing or transplantation. Potassic fertilizers is important as K or potassium regulates stomatal opening. It functions as an osmoregulator and triggers enzyme that helps in formation of ATP. Potassium sulfate and potassium chloride has 67 and 48% K2O respectively. Now, some secondary major nutrients fertilizer which are essential for plants are magnesium sulfate for magnesium, calcium chloride for calcium, etc. There are several other examples. Now, there are several essential micronutrients like iron, manganese, zinc, copper which are supplied with fertilizer like FeSO4 or borax and boric acid for boron, etc. Now, to make up the weight of the fertilizer, several fillers are added like coal powder, sand, soil, paddy husk, etc. These are all known as fillers. So here are some examples of NPK ratios in cereal and vegetables in kg per hectare. These are all approximate values. For example, rice is supplied with 75:25:37.5, whereas ragi is supplied with 40:40:40. So, here are some pros and cons of artificial fertilizers. Talking about advantages, they have a synthetic balanced composition for all-round nutrient supply. They are much more reliable and predictable, and we can customize and supply the nutrient that we want. It has micro and macro nutrients and easier to apply on the field. But they come with several harmful effects. Obviously, they are expensive and has harsh effect on skin and respiratory system of farmers, as they are exposed to these harmful chemicals. If not applied accurately, it can burn young roots and leaves, causing death. In long-term use, it alters the pH of soil, causing permanent infertility of it. It also contaminates the water bodies as chemical flow in them from the drainage system. And even consumer, that is us, can have several health issues as some of the chemicals are even carcinogenic. So next we can talk about natural fertilizers. Now they are made of animal excreta, crop leftovers, vegetable peels, etc. We can make them in our backyard or even produce in large scale for farming. It is cheap and made of things which are easily available, and they have minimum or no side effects at all. Even cyanobacteria are added to it to increase its potential. Sometimes bone meal or blood meal are collected from slaughterhouse, where they are dried, powdered and mixed with fertilizers, as they are a great source of nitrogen, calcium or even phosphorus. But even they come with pros and cons. In its good side, they are cost effective, and if properly aged, it improves soil quality, texture and water retention capabilities. It has no noxious chemical and less chance to affect young plants. It maintains pH and has minimum to no side effects on consumer or even farmer health. But on the other hand, it is slow and a large amount of it supplies little nutrient per hectare. Obviously, it's smelly when animal excreta and vegetable waste decompose. It is labor intensive and can cause improper distribution of nutrients on the field. As several types of things are used, the decomposition is not equal, so the decomposition is uneven all over the field. If by chance microbe infestation takes place, it can have toxic effect on crop and water bodies nearby. So I would love to conclude by saying that a good fertilizer is a good investment. A 50 kg bag of urea costs rupees 300, but with poor economic condition, it is hard for farmers to afford. We need more research and development projects to reduce harmful effect by fertilizer and develop economic condition of farmers. Not just fertilizer, but irrigation, insecticide, pesticides are all equally essential. With 2/3 of our country directly depending on rainwater, we have to work on irrigation system as well. Fertilizer are supplements, so it should be used when required to minimize adverse effect. Good quality food is essential for our body, so good food is wise medicine. Here are some references from where I have collected all my informations. Thank you.